We all remember just a few years ago when Vince McMahon was on Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast on the WWE Network, and he said it himself. The CEO of the company said it himself, that the locker room was much different when Stone Cold was around compared to what it is today. A lot of people won't take risks. A lot of people won't try and reach for that brass ring. A lot of the guys and the women nowadays are too afraid to take a chance to try and get themselves to that next level and prove themselves to management and to Vince McMahon. But when you hear stories, especially one that I'm about to read to you, when you hear stories like this, it makes the WWE and Vince McMahon incredibly hypocritical. I mentioned this on yesterday's show, and not many people at all argued my fact. And I would definitely love to know why. Why won't Roman Reigns step up and realize and say to somebody who has ultimate power in this company, Vince McMahon himself, it's not working. I don't want to be treated like a loser, like an embarrassment. My character and the long-term damage that is being done to my character right now, it is not going to benefit me going on into the future. This is something that Roman Reigns should know as a professional wrestler. It's going to be very difficult for Roman Reigns to get out of the 6-foot hole that WWE has ultimately dug him. Right now, it doesn't look like he's ever going to emerge from getting out of this embarrassment that WWE has bestowed upon him. Nothing's working. We all know that. It is absolutely irrefutable at this point. Does Roman Reigns not care? Is Roman Reigns, like Kenny Omega said many months ago in an interview about why he isn't in the WWE right now? He doesn't want to come to the WWE to be complacent. He doesn't want to sit in a company to merely collect a paycheck. He wants to do everything in his power to make change for the better. He wants to be on top of the mountain for as long as his body holds up. He doesn't want to be there and just be another cog in the wheel. He doesn't want to be another cog in the machine that is WWE. He wants to be someone that ultimately could make that company that much better. He doesn't want to come in and not make an impact. And that's the type of mentality that you're supposed to have, not just as a professional wrestler, as a businessman, in any facet of life. It's the way I operate. You think I want to be stuck on YouTube for the rest of my life, making wrestling podcasts? Absolutely not. It's why I am very lucky and very fortunate and very proud of the position that I have inside House of Glory. I love doing it because I love this business. I love the industry. I respect the talent wholeheartedly. I know how hard the men and women work to get House of Glory off its feet, put on a great show every single month. Not only in House of Glory, but in any wrestling promotion that you are watching. WWE, Ring of Honor, New Japan, Evolve, Progress, Lucha Underground. It doesn't matter what you guys are watching. I respect what goes into the world of professional wrestling. Now, I sit here and critique it, but I respect and understand that being that I'm around it, I understand what it takes and what these people and these men and women put their bodies through. Kenny Omega is absolutely right in what he stated in that interview. And like I stated, I want to be that same way. I'm not doing this to just get by. I have a take over the world mentality. I want to better myself each and every single week I do this. And right now, I feel like I'm kind of stuck, honestly. Until I get out of here, I can't really amp up the production value on the show, and that's something I want to do. You guys know my aspirations of taking this and being on Sirius and just having a full-fledged show, getting the name and the brand and the podcast out there. I want to be the voice of House of Glory, and I want to move on to do, bigger and much, wide, I guess, like NXT. That's my ultimate goal. I would love to be where Mauro Ranallo is, and hopefully House of Glory is a stepping stone for that. That's my aspiration. So for guys, from Vince McMahon's point of view, they're not stepping up. They're not stepping up to the plate, and they're not showing management that they want to take the brass ring. They don't want to grab the ball and run with it. Is Roman Reigns one of those guys? Is Roman Reigns one of those guys that Kenny Omega said is complacent? And if I was a betting man, I would put my money on Roman Reigns being complacent in his position right now. Roman Reigns has everything handed to him. He was handed everything, or about to be handed everything, before he even made the main roster. He was the chosen one already, dating back to reports that CM Punk wanted Cassius Ohno, Chris Hero, in the Shield over Roman Reigns. And WWE bypassed what CM Punk wanted and put Roman Reigns in there. Why did Roman Reigns get put into the Shield over Chris Hero or Cassius Ohno? Why? It's because Roman Reigns was always the next chosen one from WWE management. And Roman Reigns has been complacent. WWE's pretty much handed him everything. They handed him everything. He is okay where he is right now because he knows that in his back pocket lies WWE management. And Vince McMahon is doing everything possible to push Roman Reigns in any situation to get him over. So Roman knows that he has a comfortable position with Vince McMahon being his main backer. So he's complacent. I believe Roman Reigns is complacent with his position in WWE. He's happy to be paid. He doesn't care if it's good or bad. He just goes out there, he does what he does, and he doesn't give a shit about anything else. And I would be a betting man, and I would ultimately say, yeah, Roman Reigns is the type of guy that Kenny Omega is talking about. And I don't respect that whatsoever. I don't think Roman Reigns wants to be better. Because if he did, then he would go against everything that Vince McMahon is doing right now. Because, believe it or not, Vince may be the CEO, but everything that Vince has done for Roman has worked in a negative way and has backfired every single time. And Roman doesn't understand that. He doesn't see it. And quite frankly, I don't think he cares. If Roman had a voice and Roman had any type of care for his character on television, he would say, listen, it's not working. Let's try something else. Maybe we should definitely try the heel turn. I could definitely own this character and I can go in a direction and everything would be much better off on television. And the idea that I pitched for a heel Roman versus a babyface Braun Strowman going to WrestleMania 35 for the Universal Championship, that's where they need to go. The roles going into next year's WrestleMania should be reversed. Braun was a heel, feuding with a babyface, quote-unquote, Roman. Now Braun is a babyface. You're not going to put a babyface Braun against a babyface Roman at WrestleMania. Nobody's going to want to see Roman Reigns win. And if I have to endure another Roman Reigns WrestleMania season, he needs to be playing the right character. He needs to be portraying the right character on television. So if Roman Reigns had any voice at all or had any care for what is going on television right now, he would speak up. Roman Reigns is complacent. Now, Vince McMahon and the WWE, very, very hypocritical. Very, very hypocritical in the fact that nobody steps up to the plate. Well, according to sources, Big Cass, his first match back on WWE television against Daniel Bryan. His first big program back from a debilitating injury for 9 months. Comes back, he wants to get himself over. WWE is going to be positioning him as a big monster heel on SmackDown Live. WWE puts this situation in front of Big Cass and they tell him what to do, how many times to do it, and when to end it. Do not do any more than you are told to do. Big Cass didn't listen. Big Cass didn't listen, and now apparently, according to sources, Big Cass has major backstage heat, not only with Vince McMahon, but the entire WWE management. For the past several weeks on SmackDown Live, Big Cass has been pushed, or at least WWE has wanted to push Big Cass as a new top heel on their program. Cass earned his name to fame in the professional wrestling world when he was paired with Enzo Amore in a fan-favorite tag team that got the WWE Universe off their feet. After the team split, Cass began feuding with Enzo on Raw, which went nowhere, and it really brought Monday Night Raw as a whole down because that was a miserable program. I didn't think they needed to be broken up. I didn't like the fact that they were split from each other, and I felt that they had more value as a tag team instead of, whatever WWE had planned for them. Enzo on his own was terrible. Big Cass on his own was terrible. They were both not ready for singles runs at that time. Now, during one of their matches, Cass suffered a torn ACL, and that forced the match to end abruptly on Raw, and he was shelved for several months and forced to miss WrestleMania 34 as a result. Now, Cass has returned after being cleared to get back into the ring, and he was moved to SmackDown Live because of the Superstar shakeup. He has been feuding with Daniel Bryan, who right now arguably is the biggest babyface in the entire company, for the past 2 weeks on SmackDown Live. Now, Cass has attacked Bryan on several occasions and even had a match with him at Backlash this past weekend. Bryan wound up winning the match after making Big Cass tap out very, very quickly to his finisher, the Yes Lock. After the match, however, Cass viciously attacked Bryan and stood over his body with his fist raised in the air. He tapped out. WWE wanted to book him to come out looking at least somewhat dominant after tapping out to Daniel Bryan. On SmackDown Live this past Tuesday, Cass was not used on TV, but he was backstage and even did an interview after Bryan lost his match to Rusev in the main event. Many fans wondered why Cass wasn't on the show to continue his feud with Daniel Bryan. Mike Johnson of PW Insider Elite commented on this on his latest radio show and noted that Cass not being used on SmackDown Live after Backlash is, and I quote, not a good sign. It seems that the big man may have lost out on his WWE push on SmackDown Live. And I quote from Mike Johnson this past weekend at Backlash, Daniel Bryan wrestled Big Cass, and obviously, although he won in very quick, rapid-fire fashion, he was attacked, beaten down, thrown out of the ring, and destroyed by Big Cass afterwards. Which, by the way, the fact that Big Cass was not on this week's show is not a good sign for Big Cass if they're not following up on him. What caused this? WWE had Big Cass attack a midget on SmackDown Live on the go-home show for Backlash. Big Cass ridiculed this Daniel Bryan lookalike by calling him short, midget, just making fun of his small size and stature. At the end of this thing, Big Cass, to attempt to get some kind of heel heat, attacked this person. Big Cass delivered a big boot, and WWE, per script, wanted it to end there. Big Cass went a step further and kind of went off the script, no pun intended, and he started to just pound away, ground and pound, lefts and rights, just started wailing on him with lefts and rights. So WWE and Vince McMahon did not order this. Big Cass went into business for his own, according to sources, and then when he got backstage, there was massive heat on him because he did not listen to orders from Vince McMahon. He actually went to Vince McMahon and stated that he wanted to do something more to try and get heel heat on himself, being that, A, he's just returning, this is his first major program back, and he's in a program with Daniel Bryan, the biggest babyface in the company. He wanted to go into this and attempt to get as much heat as possible going into his match with Backlash. Big Cass had every intention of doing what is right. So I don't fault Big Cass there at all. But the fact that Vince McMahon said no and Big Cass went out there and did it anyway, you know, it's a very gray area. It really is a very gray area. And it all goes back to what Vince McMahon said. Nobody wants to take the ball and run with it. Nobody wants to step up and achieve greatness. They don't want to reach for that brass ring. They don't want to do anything more. Everybody's very complacent with where they are. But when people speak up and then they get turned down, you know, who's really to blame here? Is it the talent for wanting to do more? Or is it Vince McMahon and WWE management for handcuffing these people so much to where it's damaging to their characters on television? Now, I obviously don't agree with the fact of disobeying Vince McMahon. If you are working for Vince McMahon and he's signing your paychecks on a weekly basis, you do what the fucking man says, as you would your boss at work. You're not going to outwardly defy your boss, otherwise you won't have a job. And in WWE, that means less television time. A push could mean no push. You might be irrelevant for the rest of the year. That's how petty these people are in WWE, and we've seen it before. But the fact that talent wants to step up, Big Cass wants to step up, it's kind of angering me for the fact that WWE talent wants to do more and they're not allowed to do more. So you shouldn't go on podcasts and say nobody wants to step up, nobody wants to take the brass ring. Everybody's complacent with what they do. Yes, some people are complacent, aka Roman Reigns, because if he cared, he would have said something about why he's continuously failing on WWE television. It's a downright embarrassment. If I'm Roman, I don't want to go on television knowing that I'm an embarrassment in front of millions of people every single week. But Big Cass wants to step up. He's proud to be back. He's fortunate and lucky and so happy that he's in a program with Daniel Bryan, and he can't do what he wants to do to get himself over as a monster heel against the biggest babyface in the company? Which is it? Do you want to put on good television and let these guys do what they have to do? Or do you want to control every aspect of the television program and have it be damaging not only to television but the guys' characters? I want these guys to step up. They want to do more. And when they do more, they're punished. I don't understand the level of hypocrisy here in WWE. And this is why I say WWE is probably to blame. When you hear shit like this, why everybody's complacent. Because if they constantly hear no, 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 they're going to sit in the back and be like, well, fuck it. I'm a WWE superstar. I am in the spotlight. People know who I am. I got millions of followers on social media. I'm collecting a paycheck. Yeah, let me go out there and just, whatever. Whatever. Instead of wanting to be more. WWE makes everyone complacent in their company because they don't allow the talent to do what needs to be done. If someone has a good idea, if someone has anything positive to add to a certain storyline and they get turned down, something so simple as that, an extra beatdown attack on this Daniel Bryan imposter to get him some more heel heat. What was the reason to turn down Big Cass's request in that? WWE even cut that part of the segment out from Hulu. They cut it out from their YouTube channel because it wasn't okayed by Vince McMahon. Meanwhile, Big Cass wanted to do everything in his power to get over. How do you feel about that? How should a talent feel about that? That's not only kind of crushing that he wants to do more and he's not allowed to do more, but it just speaks that these guys are handcuffed. And when they have a terrible match with Daniel Bryan at Backlash, who's to blame? Who is to blame? Is Big Cass to blame? I'm not going to blame Big Cass. I'm not going to blame Daniel Bryan. It's the fact that WWE will not put their resources into making things good. They love controlling. They love handcuffing. They think everything that they do is the right way. These guys need to have more of a voice. These guys need to have some more leeway in the company. I respect Big Cass. You know what? Even though he may. Now, we don't know for sure. I believe this story 100%. We don't know if Big Cass is going to continue feuding with Daniel Bryan. We don't know. The fact that it was, kind of bypassed this week for Daniel Bryan and Rusev, it could be just Money in the Bank build. Maybe Big Cass has his own Money in the Bank match this coming Tuesday, and he tries to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match. So it might be on hold right now, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to continue. So we really don't know. We don't know if Big Cass is really in the doghouse for disobeying Vince McMahon. We don't know if he is, how long it's going to last, or we don't know if he's in the doghouse at all. He might not even be in the doghouse. And this might be complete bullshit, but I believe that this story is legitimate. And this is something that WWE would do, and this is something that WWE has done. Handcuffed talent. You state that nobody wants to reach for the brass ring, but every which way, every twist and turn, you're holding these guys back. Everybody's walking on eggshells. Everybody's afraid to do more because you constantly turn them down. You don't allow them to be more when they want nothing more than to be more. It's ridiculous. The level of hypocrisy in WWE is outrageous. And I hope when Vince McMahon is no longer in control like he is now, and we have new power in WWE, that it's not going to be this way. I want some of the talent to step up and give their own ideas. The talent might have better ideas than whatever we're getting on television now. If some of their ideas are at least incorporated into whatever they're doing on television, it might be better for the television quality and the television program. I just don't like hearing stories like this, man. I really don't. Something has to change. Something has to change. Vince cannot go on the Stone Cold podcast and say nobody's stepping up when there's guys that are stepping up and are constantly told no. You can't let some step up and then others just keep away. It's very, it's very wrong. It gives the wrong impression. If Roman is being treated and some guys are giving ideas and their ideas are being used, or, they got Vince McMahon's ear and they want something to be done. Meanwhile, someone else comes in who really isn't on the upper echelon of talent, has something great, and they get told no. How do you think that sits well with the locker room, that some guys are favored and the other guys are just pushed to the side as if they don't even matter? That could be a bad work environment. You got some guys walking on eggshells and some guys getting away with fucking murder. It doesn't give a good impression for the WWE locker room. I know if I was someone in that locker room and I had a character like Roman Reigns, I have, it in me to want to succeed. I don't want to be complacent. I want to step up and tell them, listen, it's not working. I want better. But when Big Cass wants better and he wants to make this program work, it's outrageous. It really is. So that is one of the stories this week. Big Cass losing his big push on SmackDown already because he disobeyed Vince McMahon in that segment on SmackDown Live on the Go Home show where he did a little bit too much in that segment with the Daniel Bryan imposter. It's ridiculous, man. It really is. The level of hypocrisy from Vince McMahon is just not right. And I want to see the talent thrive, and I don't want to see them ever handcuffed at all. You don't get that feeling in NXT. You really don't. You hear stories of them in NXT where talent is actually giving their input on their characters. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, they go back to square one and try something else. The same level of respect that the NXT locker room gives to their talent should be happening on WWE. But Vince McMahon, being that he is who he is very controlling. It's actually damaging the entirety of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. When will it end? I don't know. But every single story that I hear, every single year, it continues to get worse. And whatever CM Punk stated in that pipe bomb may have been a work shoot, but my God, does it ring fucking true every single year. This company may be better off when Vince McMahon is no longer there. This is Off the Script, episode 221, part number 2 for your May 12th, 2018. We're going to hit some more stories. There may be a big ending and I say prize winner for the Money in the Bank men's ladder match in Chicago. Who could it be? I got all the news right here on part 2 of Off the Script. off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth. And I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not.
WWE is great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and Kenny Omega, Okada. Tony! Ooh, what is it, man? Can I suck your dick? What is it, man?
And this is the #1 fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com. This is off the script. Man, I want to thank everybody for all the overwhelming love and support you guys show, not only for part 1 yesterday, but each and every week for this show. The comments that you guys send me on Twitter, very heartwarming, very supportive. I appreciate everything that you guys do for me. And I do know that we talk about Roman Reigns a little bit too much on the show. Sometimes it's in excess. I understand, but the fact that Roman Reigns right now, on the topic of Roman Reigns and whatever WWE is doing with him or plan to do with him, it's all unavoidable right now, and I need to express my opinion on it. Some of you might like it, some of you might not like it. But the fact that Roman Reigns right now is a huge talking point for all the wrong reasons right now, it's a huge topic in the world of professional wrestling that needs to be addressed. No matter how many times his name is mentioned in the dirt sheets, Roman Reigns will be talked about on this show. And a lot of you have stated that yesterday's rant, a lot of it was 100% factual. Obviously, there's some detractors that don't agree with my ways and my outlook on Roman Reigns. But the fact that whatever I stated, for the most part, it's irrefutable. Nobody wants Jinder versus Roman Reigns at all. At all. And Vince thinks that pairing Roman with Jinder is going to get Roman cheered because Jinder is hated. It's not going to work. Everybody before Jinder didn't work. What makes you think Jinder is going to work when Jinder is next in line for wrestlers who are just overly disliked on WWE television? If this does anything, it's going to make Jinder a babyface. Everybody's a babyface when they go against Roman Reigns. That's just, the way of the world right now. But regardless of Roman Reigns and our dislike for his character push on television and the way WWE is pushing his character on television, thank you for all the support. You guys are unbelievable. So we're going to talk about everything but Roman Reigns in this video. I got a lot of news, man. I got news on Dean Ambrose and his eventual WWE return. I got news on All In. CM Punk apparently is going to be at Pro Wrestling Tees and their shop in Chicago doing a special meet and greet for 200 people only. And this has people buzzing already that CM Punk is going to be affiliated with All In at some point that weekend. He may even be at the show. Speaking of All In, Cody Rhodes and Vince Russo get into it on social media. Vince Russo wanted to be at All In. I'm not sure how it got started. Maybe Vince Russo was invited by who, I don't know. But Cody Rhodes says they don't want Vince Russo anywhere near their event. I'll give you the full story and the full breakdown right here on Off the Script. Also, Charlotte had a very, very bad week. Charlotte may be on the shelf for an extended period of time. She may even miss Money in the Bank. I got news on Toni Storm. Toni Storm. Toni Storm signing with WWE. Hopefully they do grab her because she was one of my favorite things about the Mae Young Classic. Also, I got big news on a possible big ending to the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, man. So all that today right here on Off the Script. Continue to get your t-shirts, man. It's a great way to support the show. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. You guys can get any one of these three lovely designs right there, eat, sleep, bench, repeat, they do it for Roman. And then the modern day failure Raha. Can't even get it out of my mouth, man. Failure Raha. The modern day failure Raha, Jinder Mahal, there on the Off the Script store. Off the Script, barbershop window. Great partners, man. I've been paired with them for many, many months now. Quality is unbelievable. And you guys can save money on any t-shirt you guys want, including the new Roman Empire t-shirt, man. His empire is still not over. Now available on Barbershop Window. All you have to do is go to barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Enter coupon code BSHOP20 at checkout and save 20% off all of your orders, man. So there's a limited time only. Take advantage of that now if you want a t-shirt or the new t-shirt. 15 in total on barbershopwindow.com. Like I said, a great way to support the show, man. Harrys.com/script. You guys can support the show directly by going to harrys.com/script. Sign up for your free trial, man. Harry's wants you to try their product for free, because when you do, you're not going to use anything else, man. You're going to get a razor blade, a razor handle, a razor blade protective case, and a foaming shave gel that soothes and hydrates, and it smells fantastic, man. All you guys have to do is pay shipping and handling. It'll be right in your mailbox waiting for you. And when you use it, and believe me, I've been using it for the last 5 months. When you use it, whatever you're using now is going to go right in the trash can, man. Believe me. Harrys.com/script. Sign up and support the show through that. Or you guys can do Audible. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. Audible is going to give you 1 month free of their service, including 1 free audiobook of your choice. All you have to do is download Audible wherever you have access, man. iPhone, Android, iPad, smart TV, whatever, man. Wherever you watch me, wherever you listen to me, whatever you have doing your business. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. You guys can get any one of those 5 books featured there, or any book from their library of 190,000 audiobooks, man. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. And just as a friendly reminder, I will be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania this coming July for the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Terrace on 5th. It is located above Buford's Kitchen. We're going to be doing a live Off the Script with a special guest, hosted by WrestleRumble.com. And the Saturday before Extreme Rules, we're going to have 2 lucky people who have played Wrestle Rumble and 2 lucky people who listen to Off the Script meet up at Las Vegas Mexican Restaurant in Market Square, downtown Pittsburgh, for drinks, drink specials, food specials, and dinner with me, Brian Ghoulish of Chairshot Reality, and WrestleRumble.com, man. It should be a glorious, more glorious than Bobby Roode, believe me, weekend for Off the Script and WWE Extreme Rules, man. Thank you guys so much for that. Follow me on Twitter as well. Best way to keep up to date on everything, no matter if it's wrestling or video games, Off the Script, whatever, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. It's all on Twitter, man. You guys are notified immediately on Twitter if you guys follow me and set your notifications at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. And if you guys want to support the podcast through Patreon, patreon.com/JD from NY206, man. Let's start off with this Dean Ambrose news. I can't wait for Dean Ambrose to come back. Hopefully he is a lot more refreshed and ready to go, coming off a heel turn when he returns to WWE TV. A babyface Rollins versus a heel Ambrose for the IC title. And they got a backstory there that is easily, could be, they could pick up right where they left off, and it could tell a great story going into the summer-fall months of 2018. Dean Ambrose bicep injury several months ago couldn't have come at a worse time for him. The company was in the middle of a major Shield reunion built to help get Roman Reigns over, which ultimately failed. That even failed. The Shield reunion that WWE put together failed. Of all things, right? If that didn't work, nothing will work. Before his eventual Universal Championship pursuit, the reunion was plagued by a viral disease. Roman? Was Roman plaguing the Shield reunion? I think so. I think the viral disease was known as Mr. Reigns. But the viral disease that I'm talking about went into the WWE locker room. It was the mumps and something else. I don't recall what it was. But Ambrose injury as well was one of those things that took a talent from WWE's fingertips during that crucial time. After Ambrose suffered the injury, he was placed on the shelf for an estimated time period of 9 months. Now, I thought WWE was embellishing this injury. I thought it was going to be one of those things that was minor. He's going to be out 2-3 months. He'll be back. He'll be back before WrestleMania. It wasn't the case at all, and it's still not the case. Ambrose is still out with injury. It was expected that Ambrose will return to WWE at WrestleMania, like I just previously mentioned, as he was advertised for appearances during Access. However, it was a bad sign when WWE pulled Ambrose from the appearance and missed WrestleMania altogether. The injury forced Ambrose to miss out on what could have been a great feud against Seth Rollins. Now, in a recent update from PW Insider, Ambrose has relocated to Birmingham, Alabama in order to focus more on his rehab and be closer to WWE's medical facility. Ambrose is hoping to make a speedy recovery as soon as possible. It's also being reported that WWE officials are hopeful that Ambrose could make his return to the ring by the summer of 2018. Due to the shakeup, the superstar shakeup that is, recently it's unclear which brand WWE is planning to bring Ambrose back to. With all that being said, Ambrose's recovery is the main focus right now for Dean himself. When he is finally able to return, it will be good for the WWE to have another major star back to impact storylines. With a shortage of top heels on Raw at the moment, it would be a good idea to consider turning Ambrose heel when he comes back to WWE television. Perhaps a move to SmackDown Live could allow him to feud with Samoa Joe, as he's, obviously, with Samoa Joe is really the one that injured Ambrose per storyline. They could pick that up, but I'm not really interested in that, and I doubt you guys are interested in that as well. They could do that, for Joe having Ambrose miss all this time, but nobody's interested in that. I'd rather him on Raw feuding with Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship as a heel. So, wherever he comes back, definitely, I think we're all in agreement here that Ambrose should be a heel coming back to WWE. If there's one thing that needs to be changed about Ambrose, it's not only that, but he needs to have more of a hunger. I think Ambrose was getting very stale in the ring. His moveset was very repetitive. There was nothing about Dean Ambrose that made me go out of my way to genuinely be excited about his matches. He needs that big change. A lot of guys, again, I don't want to use this term, but a lot of guys just get complacent in their roles. They find something that works and they stick with it. And I don't understand. Ambrose may be the Cal Ripken of WWE. He was the workhorse. He was working through injuries. He was the guy who was, the one guy who had consecutive matches week after week after week after week without missing anything. He was a road warrior, no pun intended, for WWE. But him being featured so much and seeing so much of him with little change made the character stale. There's one thing that WWE needs to do with Ambrose when he comes back, it's drastically change how he's presented. And I hope that they can really embellish on that lunatic aspect of Dean Ambrose, because he was playing a safe comedic lunatic. I don't want to see that. I want to see Ambrose come back and make an impact and really make an impact for the Intercontinental Championship. And you have a storyline right there that has foundation built for it. Seth Rollins went on his own, just build a storyline around. Listen, Rollins went on to achieve success. He's the best thing going on Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Rollins is fucking running wild on Monday nights. No phone call to Ambrose, no checking up on your best friend. What happened? And all of a sudden, when Rollins is in the middle of a feud and he's ending one feud, Ambrose can come back. Very similar to what Rollins did with Reigns. When Rollins came back from his injury for the first time and he went right after Reigns, similar instances should happen with Ambrose coming back on Rollins. But this time it might work because Rollins is such a fan favorite. If Ambrose comes back and attacks Rollins, that could be the start of a great heel turn. And like I said, they have a foundation there for the Intercontinental Championship. Rollins went on to have success and left Dean Ambrose out to fucking dry without any care in the world, and their tag team was ultimately dead. He abandoned the tag team for a singles run and singles glory. Ambrose takes offense to that. Boom, you got a storyline. That's what WWE needs to do, and I hope WWE capitalizes on Ambrose and this heel run when he comes back to WWE television. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, obviously one of the more notable names in the entire wrestling industry. The Bullet Club right now running on all cylinders. I did right away, because I knew they were going to sell out everywhere they were, man. I ordered every fucking Funko Pop that there was, man. Omega, I got Rhodes, and I got Matt and Nick from the Young Bucks, man. I ordered all of them right off Pro Wrestling Tees, and I'm getting an exclusive t-shirt because I ordered all 4 from Pro Wrestling Tees. I can't wait to get here. I will do an unboxing. Apparently, they will be shipping in August, so hopefully they get here before I go to All In. If I take the Omega one and the Young Bucks one and the Cody one all to Chicago with me and hopefully get them all signed, ooh, man, they're going to be worth a lot of money. But Cody Rhodes tells Vince Russo to stay away from All In. Current Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and former WWE superstar Cody Rhodes is getting set to put on a massive indie event in Chicago this summer. Rhodes is self-funding a wrestling show he calls All In with other big-name indie stars such as the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega in Chicago, Illinois. The event is set to go down on September 1st from the Sears Center Arena. Many wrestling legends and big names have been either rumored or confirmed for the show, while some of the biggest names in the indie wrestling scene are set to appear. CM Punk has been rumored to be at the event in some fashion as well. That was announced, not directly correlating with All In, but he will be signing autographs and taking photo ops right at the headquarters of Pro Wrestling Tees. The event is in Punk's hometown of Chicago, and he is also set to do a meet and greet, like I said, the day before All In. With all the hype surrounding this event, many wrestling legends have attempted to get involved in the madness. It seems that one of those legends is none other than former WWE and WCW writer Vince Russo. Bro, I want to be at All In, bro. Cody Rhodes, Matt and Nick Jackson, Kenny Omega, bro. I want to be there. Help me get on the show. I can help out in some creative way and book the show for you guys at the Sears Center, bro. Get Vince Russo. I made Stone Cold Steve Austin, bro. I made The Rock, bro. Mankind and The Undertaker, bro. I booked the Attitude Era. The Attitude would be nothing without me, bro. Let me tell you something, bro. Vince Russo ain't going to be at All In, bro. Now, for those who may not know, Vince Russo, bro, is largely credited for the success of the Attitude Era, bro, when I wrote some of the best storylines in WWE history, bro. With that being said, he has also written some of the worst storylines and is highly a controversial figure in the business. Russo took to Twitter to note that he'd be interested in appearing at All In. He recently took to Twitter to let it be known that I'm ready, willing, and able, bro. Get me at All In, bro. But some people are trying to prevent him from attending. The event's frontman, Cody Rhodes, took to Twitter and warned Russo to stay away from the event. Russo tweeted, and I quote, "The absolute fact that I'm ready, willing, and able to appear at All In, bro, while others are ready, attempting to do everything in their power to keep me from attending, tells me just about everything I need to know about me and them, bro." So Russo, let me read that in the non-Vince Russo voice. "The absolute fact," he tweets, "that I'm ready, willing, and able to appear at All In while others are already attempting to do everything in their power to keep me from attending tells you just about everything you need to know about me and them." Cody Rhodes follows this up and quotes the tweet on Twitter and says, and I quote, "We don't reward bad behavior. Stay away from our event." Russo has wanted to be involved with All In for quite some time. He offered his services to Rhodes and the Young Bucks via Twitter back in March and seemed very excited about the possibility. It should be interesting to see how this all plays out. Now, I don't know if Vince Russo was invited. I know they have the StarCast podcasting event, which I got notified about. They reached out to me. StarCast reached out to me because I put in some email saying, notify me when, you got more details. And they got back to me. I'm not going to be doing the StarCast event because it's way too much money to sit there, and I really don't want to spend that type of money when it's really a huge gamble on my half, or on my behalf. You know, there's going to be podcasts from all over the world. The biggest podcasts in the wrestling industry are going to be there. Who the fuck is going to want to come to my booth that I'm going to be paying $600-700 for and want to meet me? You know? I don't really watch Ring of Honor. I don't watch New Japan. I'm familiar with what the Young Bucks and the Bullet Club are doing. I'm going to the event. I'm going to be with Wrestle Rumble. I'm going to be having my own meet and greet in and around Chicago. I'm going to be fucking drinking the night away. I'll tell you fucking that. But for me to spend that type of money on a booth at StarCast, when you got Bruce Pritchard and Ryan Satin and Wade Keller and Dave Meltzer and all these other fucking people, right? Stone Cold might be there, Jericho, Colt Cabana, fucking all these wannabes gonna be, who the fuck's gonna come out and watch me? Or want to meet and greet with me, you know? That's my thought process behind it. I don't want to spend that type of money on a mere gamble for nobody to come up and give a shit about me. So I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm going to be in and around. I'm going to be, you know, going up to people. Hey, man, what's up, JD? Nice to meet you. Nice to finally meet you, blah, blah, blah. I'll have business cards ready, hand out some business cards. I'll do my own meet and greet. We'll drink the night away in downtown Chicago. I'll let everybody know that's in town or that lives in Chicago that listens to the show. Come on out to wherever I choose. We're going to eat. We're going to drink. We're going to have a good time. We're going to do Kevin Dunn. Chicago. Kenny Omega. What? Okada? Okada's going to be there, Dunn. Okada is going to be there, bro. So, it's going to be a good time. I can't wait for Chicago. I've never been. So, we'll see what happens with that. But, all I will say is this on this Cody Rhodes, Vince Russo thing, man. You know, I know Vince Russo has been chastised, criticized, crucified in the community for whatever reason. You know, I know he got into it with Ryan Satin. You know, give or take your feelings on Ryan Satin, you know, whatever the case may be, there was a bunch of drama. Satin believed, I think, Russo made threatening remarks to his girlfriend or whatever the fucking case may be. I don't really meddle in drama, but the fact that the Young Bucks, Omega, the Bullet Club, Cody are funding this show, you know, this is coming out of their pocket. They're setting everything up. They're doing all the promotion for this show. So, whatever they say goes. If they are completely in charge of getting this show ready and funding this show, if they want somebody at the show, they will have that particular person at the show. If they don't want anyone at the show, then tough shit. They don't want anybody at their show. It's their show. It's their call. They can do whatever the fuck they want. If Cody doesn't want Vince Russo there, then Vince Russo will not be invited, and he will not be on the list of people at StarCast. Simple as that. There's no way around it. Cody wants him, they'll be there. If Cody says, fuck you, no, then goodbye. You're not going to be at All In or affiliated with All In. Simple as that. Moving on here, man. I have news on Toni Storm coming to the WWE, man. Boy, would I love to see Toni Storm's assets in WWE. Looks like Toni Storm is headed to WWE at least for a couple of shows next month. An ad aired during the live event in the UK on Wednesday to hype the upcoming United Kingdom King of the Ring tournament that will air on the WWE network next month. The shows will be taped on 6/18 and 6/19, which I will be watching and reviewing, of course, and presumably will air on the network a few days later. During the video, they announced that Wolfgang, Mark Andrews, Tucker Knight, and Toni Storm will be a part of the show. Storm has been on WWE's radar since the 2017 Mae Young Classic tournament. At the time, it was believed that she was one of the favorites to get a contract following the tournament. No deal was signed, but she was part of live events that took place at WrestleMania Access in New Orleans. The 22-year-old from New Zealand has been one of the standout performers on the independent scene. Aside from her great in-ring work, she is also very charismatic and seemingly checks off everything WWE would want in a performer. I would personally be surprised if she was not signed to a deal by the end of the year for WWE, man. And when you start bringing in people like Toni Storm, who impressed everybody and has been impressing everybody with her work on the independents, she impressed the WWE audience. that watched the Mae Young Classic. It's very difficult to bring in women like that and then not treat the women's division as a serious fucking deal. When you got shit like Nia Jax and Carmella on WWE television, and then you see the shit that's going on in NXT, you know, it's like one part of the company cares about the women and then the other doesn't really give a shit. How are you going to have Nia Jax and Carmella representing your women's divisions as respected champions, as their champions for their divisions on each show? When you got Ember Moon and Toni Storm and Ruby Riott and Sasha Banks and Nikki Cross and Dakota Kai and everybody that's really, built on professional wrestling instead of these total divas. It's disgusting. It really is disgusting. And then Carmella acts like big shit on social media. Someone quoted Dave Meltzer giving Carmella and Charlotte a 1 star at Backlash. Someone said, "Did you see Meltzer gave you a 1 star?" She replies with, "Who's that? Who's that?" So I commented back and I quoted the tweet where she said, "Who's that?" And I'm like, Meltzer gave 1 star too many. That match was terrible. The comment section was fucking hilarious. Now, how are you going to go into a match with Charlotte and have a 1 star fucking match? Seriously. And then this is the same person that went on social media a week ago bragging about how great her in-ring skills got. I haven't had a singles match in a year. Wait till you see what I do. The result was a 1 star match. Yet WWE opted to put the championship on her. And now, when I was a Carmella advocate, I am no longer a Carmella advocate because I don't see her getting better. She's actually getting worse. So when I see that, I pull my Carmella card and say, you know what? Time to move on. The championship belongs on somebody else. Same thing with Nia Jax. I was a big Nia Jax advocate. I wanted to see Nia Jax get better. WWE gave her this terrible storyline, this bullying storyline, and now I don't give a fuck about Nia Jax. In fact, I can't wait for her to lose the championship. Yet you're going to bring people like Toni Storm in. And what happens when Toni Storm makes Monday Night Raw? Same shit's going to happen. They're not going to be treated the way that they need to be treated. Hopefully Toni Storm goes right to NXT and she takes over NXT. She's 22 years old. 22 years old. You don't need to make the main roster immediately. Get some experience in NXT. Get the production that WWE does down. Get your theme music down, the entrance down, everything about who you are and your character and what you want to portray. Work on what you need to work on down there. By the time she's 24, 25, she'll make the main roster. She got a whole fucking career ahead of her. She don't need to come into WWE and be put on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, even though she probably could blow everybody out of the water on both of those shows. But get her in NXT because I at least want to see her treated right in NXT. And maybe get a match or two with Bianca Belair, match or two with Kairi Sane, so on and so forth. Toni Storm versus Nikki Cross. I think Toni Storm and NXT sounds like a match made in heaven, man. Toni Storm, hopefully WWE bound, because, like I said, I'd love to see Toni Storm's assets sooner rather than later. Speaking of female women performers, man, Charlotte Flair needs to undergo surgery. Uh-oh! What happened here? Now, Charlotte Flair needs to go under the knife when WWE returns from their current European tour because she needs to have a ruptured breast implant fixed. This is the kind of thing that can really escalate if not taken care of, so it's good for Flair to be getting this procedure, even though it might keep her out of the ring, leaving Carmella without nobody else to feud with. Although I'm sure there will be no shortage of challengers for the Princess of Staten Island on SmackDown Live. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports Flair actually worked with a broken implant for a while. It was noted Charlotte Flair actually ruptured her implant before WrestleMania, but kept working because she wanted to wrestle Asuka. Then she lost the title on the following Tuesday and apparently thought it was okay enough to work through Backlash. But now she needs to take some time off when she gets home from the European tour. There is no timetable for her return, but it might be pushing it to consider a Money in the Bank match because unless she can heal incredibly fast, she might be missing Money in the Bank. After all, Alexa Bliss recently had to have new implants put in, and it took her out of action for about a month. Now, I don't know what the ramifications are if she continues wrestling with something like that, but, I know WWE is going to want to have her in Money in the Bank. Obviously WWE wants to have her in Money in the Bank, or Peyton Royce would have beaten Charlotte on SmackDown, and we would have gotten Peyton Royce in Money in the Bank. And Charlotte would have gone on to just go get what she needs done, fixed, and then come back. So, for all you Iconic fans out there, reading this and hearing this, does it anger you even more now that WWE is continuing to push Charlotte Flair with a ruptured breast implant, knowing that she could potentially miss Money in the Bank, and Peyton Royce was ousted? Wouldn't it have made more sense to make Charlotte take care of what she needs to take care of and put Peyton Royce in Money in the Bank? I know some of you were salty. I know some of you might be triggered after that. So let me know what you're thinking about that. But Charlotte actually also had one of her teeth knocked out. One of her veneers, those perfectly white fucking teeth that I'm sure make Kevin Dunn. Charlotte, well, we love some Charlotte fucking teeth, man. I got her a toothbrush for her birthday. We see those perfectly aligned white teeth. She got one of them knocked out at a house show. So she got that fixed. She has the ruptured breast implant she got to get fixed. Charlotte's fucked up. Charlotte's pretty fucked up right now. But that's not going to stop WWE from pushing her on WWE television. So hopefully she gets back to action soon. And someone, if not Charlotte, takes that title off of Carmella. Because right now, Carmella is bringing the value, of which there was nothing to begin with, down for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. Moving on here, man, I got news on, speaking of Carmella, let me get this out of the way. Because people are so embedded in drama. It's like they feed off of it. Now, I hate talking about this. I didn't even want to talk about the Nikki Bella John Cena situation because of its TMZ-like, just feel to it. But people love Nikki Bella. They love John Cena. They're both, highly touted individuals in the spotlight, and I knew it would draw attention. But now there's rumors of John Cena dating Carmella. Now, I try to stay away from this shit, but it's been all over social media. People somehow get so wrapped up in this drama, and they're still tweeting me about it. I don't believe John Cena's dating Carmella. How could he do this? Blah, blah, blah. So, the rumor, I'm letting you know right now, is not true. John Cena is not dating Carmella. Now, a lot of people are like, well, Carmella's being pushed heavily on television. She might have that John Cena influence. This could be true. This has to be true. She's the SmackDown Women's Champion. She beat Charlotte. John Cena has to have some influence over WWE management because she's dating John Cena. It's not true. It's not true. It was originated on a blind item blog this past Sunday at Backlash, and then it got picked up by a few wrestling sites on Monday because they don't know any better and they want traffic to their website. So they figured, let me start this drama. Let's get this fake news story out there that we know is going to gravitate people to our site, and let's report that John Cena is dating Carmella. One person in WWE has stated that there is still a chance that Nikki Bella and John Cena will end up back together at some point. Not at all. 100% BS, says the source, on the Carmella Cena rumor. It is not true. Here is the line that stated this rumor on the Hollywood Blind Items site. And I quote, "The entertainer actor has already moved on and is hooking up with one of the stars of this show, which involves the entertainment part of the actor's career. Over the course of the day on Monday, that line somehow morphed into John Cena is now dating Carmella." End quote. You might be on to something if you are one of these conspiracy theorists out there, especially in this instance, that believes that something seems off with the breakup of John Cena and Nikki Bella. Now, during Backlash, they showed, I don't know if it was for Total Divas or Total Bellas, but they highlighted the fact that Nikki Bella and John Cena were calling off the marriage. Nikki Bella crying and John Cena trying to console her. Just by that scene alone tells you that everything that you're seeing with John Cena and Nikki Bella more than likely is fake. They didn't cancel the wedding. They probably just postponed the wedding, and they're going to get married eventually when everything plays out on television. For a show that has declining ratings and a show that is losing its audience every single season, how do you grab those people in? How do you get those people and those viewers back to watch this drama unfold? You take what you had planned for a May 5th wedding, you cancel it, quote unquote, and you play it out as a storyline on television to ultimately have the happy ending and they get back together and they eventually get married and the fairy tale resumes and the fairy tale wedding goes on as planned. That's what I think is going to happen. Now, it did cross my mind when the original story of it being canceled broke. I figured, you know what, this got to be a rib. This got to be a storyline. All for reality TV. And that's exactly what people are thinking nowadays. In a recent video on YouTube, Bella told fans that she is now living with Brie and Daniel Bryan in Phoenix. However, US Weekly reported a few days ago that Bella has been spending nights at Cena's apartment since the breakup. Something doesn't add up here, especially since Phoenix is on the other side of the country and Cena lives in Tampa, Florida. Never mind the fact that Cena is almost never home to begin with because of his Hollywood commitments. People Magazine's sources told them that they are almost sure that Cena and Nikki Bella will get back together, and the pressure around a TV wedding got to Cena and stressed him out immensely. US Weekly also reported that they would likely get back together. There was also a claim that Cena's commitment issues stem from childhood and he grew up without his father. This is a direct contradiction from things he said over the years on WWE programming, and they have shown home video with Cena growing up around his father, who we've seen many, many times front row during Cena's matches live on television. So, again, I state, this might be all done for reality television. And by the way, if you are canceling a wedding and breaking up with Nikki Bella after 6 years for Carmella, boy, is that a fucking downgrade. That's just my honest opinion. I'm going for Nikki Bella over Carmella, for sure. That's just me. Now, you guys might think differently. A lot of people out there think Carmella's attractive. To me, I'm going with Nikki Bella. That's a big downgrade for John Cena. It's a big downgrade for John Cena. Anyway, I think it's all bullshit. John Cena dating Carmella is fake news. It's not real. And Cena and Nikki Bella more than likely will be getting back together when everything plays out on Total Bellas. So leave it at that. WWE Sunday Night Heat is now available on the WWE Network. For fans of the Attitude Era, you got some good news. 52 episodes of Sunday Night Heat have been added to the WWE Network. The show starts with the debut episode from August 2nd, 1998 and goes through July 25th, 1999. Heat was WWE's B show behind Monday Night Raw and slowly morphed into the C show after SmackDown launched on UPN Channel 9 here in New York City in 1999. Perhaps the most famous episode of Sunday Night Heat was my favorite. January 1999, during the halftime of the Super Bowl, when The Rock and Mankind had an empty arena match at 11 million viewers, a 6.6 rating. That episode ranks as one of the most watched programs in WWE history. The show continued to air first on USA Network, then TNN and MTV, and eventually on WWE.com, until it was scrapped in 2008. So, the episodes of WWE Superstars is another thing people are waiting for. Also, Wrestling Challenge. Apparently, both of those shows and the episodes are on their way to the network. So, if you guys got the network and you're happy with the catalog of content on the network, now you got Sunday Night Heat to pretty much enjoy for 52 episodes, man. That's great for the network. Finally, man, we're going to end with this one here. Shocking winner for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Who does WWE have potentially planned to win Money in the Bank? Now, while WrestleMania season seems to be a whirlwind for most WWE fans, the greatest Royal Rumble. Backlash came, and right now everybody is shitting all over the WWE product. However, WWE is moving on from that. Hopefully things get a lot better, and we're moving into Money in the Bank season. Another fan favorite pay-per-view for everybody who watches the program. Now, I love how WWE has morphed Money in the Bank into one of their big pay-per-views to go along with Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. The fact that WWE has introduced now these dual-branded pay-per-views and gone away from the single-brand pay-per-views, which I wish that they would keep together, it kind of lessens the value of something like this when it happens. If we still had the single-branded pay-per-views, if SmackDown had their own pay-per-views and Raw had their own pay-per-views, I think Money in the Bank, in the grand scheme of things, would feel a little bit more important. But the fact that now Raw and SmackDown Superstars are going to be on every show going forward, when we see something like this happen, it's like, we see the SmackDown and Raw brands together on every pay-per-view, when it was the old way, it was a little bit more special. Now it's not really that special anymore, even though this is one of the few pay-per-views of the year where Raw and SmackDown Superstars go head-to-head. So we got the Royal Rumble, we got Money in the Bank, and then we got Survivor Series. So it's 3 pay-per-views out of the year now where Raw and SmackDown Superstars go head-to-head against each other. All for the reason to call themselves Mr. Money in the Bank. With just over 5 weeks to go until the pay-per-view event, both Raw and SmackDown Live has started the qualifying matches to both men and women's Money in the Bank ladder matches. Rusev, clearly an odds-on favorite early, with wins over Daniel Bryan and a renewed push on SmackDown Live, merchandise selling off the shelves on WWE Shop. Rusev looks to be a heavy favorite in Money in the Bank, and the briefcase would do him well. Finn Balor, he hasn't gotten a Universal Championship match. That could be his way in to take that title back, in which he's never gotten a rematch for. The Miz, we've talked about The Miz here winning Money in the Bank and going on and taking a potential championship away from Daniel Bryan later in the year and building a program between those two over the championship going into WrestleMania next year. That seems to be everybody's favorite scenario so far. And Braun Strowman have qualified for the men's Money in the Bank, while Charlotte and Ember Moon have secured their spots in the women's Money in the Bank. Braun Strowman doesn't look like the type of guy, we discussed this yesterday on Off the Script for part 1. Braun Strowman doesn't look like the type of guy that would win Money in the Bank and just cash in at the right opportunity. He seems like more of the guy who would challenge and step up to a champion rather than take the easy way out. The briefcase is made for someone like a Miz, who's going to take that cheap way out and kind of sneak in a victory. Miz could do it for the second time. I don't know how many times it's been done twice, but The Miz can certainly do it again this year, and I'm sure WWE is going to make that a constant thing and a reminder. Miz has done it once. He might be able to do it again and join Elite Company. With all those men, and being that they're top-tier talent with world title credentials, it seems as though we could be in for a real shock when the winner is announced in June. According to PW Insider, believe it or not, Big E of the New Day is set, finally, for a huge solo push, and it is likely to come into effect at Money in the Bank. The 32-year-old is a former Intercontinental Champion and a 4-time Tag Team Champion as part of the New Day. And while the group is still popular with the fans, there is no doubt that they aren't as hot as they used to be. With their merchandise sales reportedly down, something that we also reported last week, the WWE is looking at organically breaking up the group, and Big E is naturally the standout star of the pack. Don't sleep on Xavier Woods, man. Don't sleep on Xavier Woods. Big E has the look that WWE wants, but Xavier Woods may be the best in-ring performer of the 3. Big E is the natural standout star of the pack. There doesn't have to be a heel turn involved, and Mike Johnson, PW Insider, explained why. And I quote, Big E, makes the most sense. He can be a base for a lot of other guys. If there was ever a time to break this team up and have Big E push to the next level, it's probably now where the team is still popular. I don't think they are at the apex of where they were. You could still have the New Day with Kofi and Xavier Woods. I think it's overdue that Big E gets a singles push. Perhaps we will get that now. This opens up Big E to moving on his own. and kind of just paving the way for himself and not really breaking away or turning any of them heel, even though I think Big E would be a great heel in his own right. Break the New Day way, have Big E go on his own, keep the New Day together, and maybe get some new talent in the New Day. Get a third guy. The New Day is at a point where they could probably make someone's career by adding someone into the group and make them a superstar and get their name out there. I wouldn't necessarily break up the New Day. I think Xavier and Kofi adding a third member in place of the New Day could be huge for somebody, and I think they're more valuable to the tag team division as a team than if you broke them away. That's just my point of view on the New Day. Big E winning Money in the Bank, I'm not sure I am for that. The Money in the Bank match could certainly pave the way for Big E's singles run. I don't think he necessarily needs to win it. I'm not going to choose Big E over a Miz or a Rusev or anybody else that potentially could make the match. But that's just me. I don't want Big E to win it. The match could still be used to pave the way for a singles run, and if they do want to break him away, I think adding somebody else to the New Day is going to be a great thing for whomever they want to bring into the group. That's just my opinion on that. I don't want Big E to win the match. I don't want him to win the match at all. These types of matches could make a breakout performance. So we'll see what happens with that, but WWE could potentially put Big E in the match. We have that tag team match on Tuesday, The Bar versus the New Day. If that is the case, this report could end up being true by Big E advancing to the pay-per-view on June 17th. So it might be Big E versus either Cesaro or Sheamus on Tuesday night. We're going to have to wait and see as SmackDown Live is being taped from the United Kingdom. What do you guys think about Big E winning Money in the Bank? Who do you want to win Money in the Bank? A lot of big names out there that could potentially win it. Me, Big E, I wouldn't have him at the top of the list of winning it. If I was to pick somebody right now, it would probably be The Miz. That is Off the Script, guys. Thank you so much for all your support. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think down below. Check out the t-shirt shop, barbershopwindow.com/offthescript, harrys.com/script, audibletrial.com/offthescript. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for notifications. And please support the Patreon page. Patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. We got more coming tomorrow. Enjoy your Saturdays. I'll see you all back here for Mother's Day Sunday for part 3 of Off the Script. Thank you guys so very much. And I'll see you tomorrow for Off the Script part 3. Talk to you later.